Hello, good evening and welcome. Welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Oxchair, on the show this evening. It's Port Bear, GB, and the legend. Yes, a legend. That is the bridge. Evening, boys.
Evening, Oxchair. Good to be on. The Anorak's on, and the yellow ties at the ready. I love this time of the season. You all know transfers coming in the door, and I'm looking forward to the season ahead, mate.
I put the Anorak on because he was doing trade spotting, GB.
Especially, you seen the jacket socks that's kicking about with the goggles in the hood and all that? I don't know what's going on there. That's a style I've not seen.
One of them on, it's a mere chance of pulling.
Anyway. Good evening, Oxchair.
Evening, GB. How are you, mate?
Aye, mate. Good week. New apprentice this week, man. You should see it. It's all tanned up, and a Rangers fan couldn't ask for better apprentice, mate. I'm chuffed to bits.
It doesn't always mean they're very bright, mate.
Good evening, Oxchair. Glad to be on again. Can I just say, hope you and your boys there in the background doing well, and of course the two guests, Port Bear and GB. Can I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, listening in, good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio.
Yes, how are you, Port? New players coming in, that's your thing, innit? You love it, don't you? You absolutely love it. You have all these rumours, we're going to sign this, we're going to sign that. And some of them we never even hear about again. But anyway, you love it, don't you?
I do, mate. I love the drama. I love, the excitement here. As I've gotten older, you learn, not every you read's true. But I still love it, mate. I even love all the banter. Stuff that goes about, link to this one, link with that one. It's great to get you excited, but I love this time of the season, mate. But Rangers getting their work done early, mate, as you know. And I've been impressed with some of the current signing board to get in the door.
Your thoughts on them? Your thoughts on what we've done so far?
Very excited, mate. One thing I was worried about tail end of last season was our aging squad. So there was quite a number, heading to that 30 mark and above. And I knew it had to be a serious sort of revamp to try and bring that age group down. And it seems to be one of the first things that the manager targeted, especially in January when he brought in Raskin at 21 and Cantwell as well, I think 24, 25, whatever it is. And I think he's matched that again with going guys like Kieran Dowles in his 20s, Boy Sterling, Seamer, Dessers late 20s, Sam Lammers 26, and of course Jack Button at 30, which is a baby for a keeper, relatively, 30 years of age.
Well, if you compare it to McGregor, he's a nipper, isn't he?
Aye. So I'm excited, mate. I definitely am. With the current crop so far, a lot to get excited about.
All right. GB, we spoke to you since Tuesday night's game. It was a decent game, a pre-season game played at a decent tempo. Obviously, we never got the result, but that's neither here nor there, is it?
No, we're right kind of at the start of the pre-season, playing against a top 4 Premiership team, a Champions League team for that as well. I mean, I think it was a good run out for the players, and as the manager touched on, Ox, now the players know the kind of level they need to get at. I mean, because that first half with Newcastle, the press is really high, and it was a hard shift for Rangers. But don't get me wrong, we came back into the game, a couple of changes and stuff like that, and I think what I say is the players had a good run out, and it was good to see Sam Lammers get his goal as well, because that was a good bonus.
Yeah, here in Bridge, you were right in amongst it with the Union Bears, I believe. Oh, it was no less. Lammers, what was your thoughts on him, Port?
Before we went about the game, I was talking to Bridgeman outside it, mate, and I did say to Bridgeman, that's the guy I wanted to see.
Mm-hmm.
Most signings that day, because I think when he came for Holland to get his big move. I mean, he was Heron Bain's top goal scorer. He was the Dutch top goal scorer when he got that big move to Atlanta. And you know what the Dutch are like, mate. They've got great technique, usually great touch. And a guy at 6'2", I just wanted to see him just to see what sort of player he was like, because I've got my doubts for he's an out number 9, the way he was when he played for Heron Bain. To me, he's more like a number 10. And what he reminded me of, just some of the touches, we didn't get to see a lot of him. We only seen him in that game. But what I saw when he played in Atlanta, when he played for Heron Bain and stuff, and even on loan at Sampdoria. He reminds me a wee bit of De Boer last year. And what I mean in regards to that is his touch, his technique, that eye for pass, and then see that goal. I mean, he took that goal well with pressing, getting it, and then staying calm and just shot it, the bottom corner. That's high praise, I know, Oxford, but that's the sort of player I see him as. I think he's going to work in that position where behind the number 9, but he'll maybe just drift left, drift right, and just playing that number 10 role as well at times. Very, very technical player, gifted.
All right. Bridge, what was your thoughts, mate, while you were in there with the Union Bears, Mucker?
And the young lads in the Copeland front, tremendous. They were singing the whole night, partying and shouting and ball. So I thought the game was. I think the first half we weren't at our best, that's for sure. And Newcastle showed a lot of class. They were tearing us apart at times. Some beautiful passing. Once again, I think our weakness was down our left. Conor Barisic in particular, he was getting a wee bit of torrid time yet. And the game changed in the second half. And, that young boy, Yilmaz come on. And what a difference that made to the left-back position and the left side in general. And as it went on, more players come on, Haji and the young Rashkin. I tell you what a difference they made when they came on. We started to get the ball, control the ball, and they made a world of a difference. We could have scored another couple of goals, truth be told, but then so could Newcastle. Mm-hmm. But I think at the end of the day, I think they got a very lucky goal. Because I wonder how that guy actually managed to touch that ball. It was they got it across, and they got to it, and somehow or other it went over, looked over the keeper, and looked as if it was going over the bar, and then just dipped the last minute. So
the angle was a bit fluky, but it was a decent wee flick with the boy, but the cross shouldn't have again. But it's a pre-season game, Bridge, yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, but I mean, we saw the value of their squad is way up. I'm talking in pounds now. It's way up above any we'll ever get to, I think. But my goodness gracious, they can play football. They can play from the goalkeeper all the way out. Everyone can play football.
Well, the build that squad, obviously there's some players been with them a while, but they've all cost tens of millions, and that's what you get. You get a wee bit a cut above, as Fox would say. But look, we grew into the game, GB. Would you agree with that?
I think again it was because of the high press initially, but as the game went on, I think like Lammers and Seema kind of found their feet a wee bit. I think Seema was kind of more central to start with, but then it was moved out to the left, and Cantwell kind of moved more central in that. But the changes and stuff like that second half kind of helped us, and Lammers got his just rewards for. I mean, people were saying it was a mistake by the midfielder and the goalkeeper, but to be honest, Lammers was there waiting for that to happen. I mean, and he did press the boy and got the shot away, and he still had a lot of work today as well, Ox, to get the shot perfect so he could get it in the goal. So great credit, and what I say is, again, a good test, and just showing where the players need to get to, especially with the kind of what I say is if we're going to get into this Champions League, Ox, it's a good bar to be set at.
All right, fair enough. I thought it was a decent workout. A question for Mr. Bridge, if you don't mind, Mr. Bridge.
Go on then.
Right, and then Port can chip in after that. What are you thinking about Suter? I know it's early, and I know it's a pre-season friendly. Will you change your mind, mate?
Well, I did say tail end of last season, I thought I didn't want him, but I think he's been a stalwart for us, and I thought, he wasn't far from being the best player on the best Rangers player on the night. I thought he had a really good game. However, everybody's a bit short in match practice, if you like to call it. So there's a lot of match fitness unavailable to us in the moment. But I think Suter was top man.
In regards to John Suter, mate, I think John Suter showed us all at the tail end of the season that we'd managed to secure a very good defender. Actually, last year, he's probably, in my opinion, in the sort of Hollander mould, he's probably the best defender at the club. He'll put his body where it hurts. He'll go and attack boys in the air. And what I noticed the other night against Newcastle as well, and I've noticed it in a couple of the games before the end of the season, he likes to step out with play Oxford. He's quite comfortable at, stepping out for the back and going joining in and carrying his another 10, 15, 20 yards up the park. So he's pretty confident, and I think he's not just doing it, just going in daft runs at centre half day at times, you know what I mean? But he looks competent in ball carrying. But I think if he gets the injury free Oxford, I think we've got a right good defensive defender that will go and attack and win the majority of his duels Oxford. I'm excited about him.
Yeah. I'm going to mention, you mentioned, we're talking about Shooter there, just quickly, Port. I've seen a story in the media, and I read that he said that the boy Dessers is strong. Well, if John Shooter's saying that, it means we've got a strong player.
Oh, aye, indeed, aye. Because as I said, mate, he's as strong as an ox. And, where it'll cross your mind, it showed his strength in the game against them at the end of the season when he goes and wins that header. I think he had two hanging on to him, and he was determined, Oxford. He was getting his heed to that. And he's like that in his own box and over his defending my box. I just think he's as strong as a bull. If that's what Dessers is, he's saying about Dessers, then it's sort of excited me. I think what I've seen of Cyril Dessers, he's a very competent striker as well, mate, and he's scored goals in a few countries, so onwards and upwards.
GB, how would you rate for window so far? You personally, how would you rate it out of 10?
I would say we're sitting probably around about an 8 the new Ox, because we're probably about the busiest club in the world. I mean, with signings, all I see is Rangers making signings. I don't really see too many other clubs popping up as much as what we are. So I think the manager's done really well getting the club's done really well getting the signings in, especially during the pre-season, because it's good to get a squad settled, Ox. I think if we can just get these last two that were rumoured with the line as quick as possible, so that they're in just before hopefully the last two games.
Who's the last two?
Cifuentes and Dalio. Hopefully we can get them in.
Where have you been today, GB?
Where have I been?
Yeah, but I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll help you out here.
Right.
We'll for your gaffer. Michael Beale, what a schoolboy. Let's hear for your gaffer, Michael Beale.
We've recruited swiftly over the summer. We've got some new faces in, and the squad is shaping up really well. We're really pleased with how the summer work has gone.
How key is it to try and make sure that they're all integrated and ready to go for the start of the season when you do bring in so many new players?
Yeah, of course. The boys that were here before, they'll sort of gel it all together, if you like. But we had a fantastic week or so in Germany in isolation, which was really good for the players. And it's nice. There's a nice energy and a nice feeling around the place at the moment.
How key is the belief that you can win the title this season and win other trophies and progress in Europe? That mentality on day one.
Well, the mentality is always there to start the season well. We know that the first month of the season brings 4 league games and hopefully 4 Champions League qualifiers as well, a cup game. So by the time we go into that September international break, we want to be in a good place, and we want all the new players up to speed. The recruitment both ways in and out is not finished right now, so the squad will come together. It's important that we maintain quiet and just keep doing our work and building this team.
On the ins and outs that you mentioned, saying it's not done yet, how close are you to adding more players into the team?
Well, there's a lot of speculation around 1 or 2 names, and I don't know why that's gathered so much pace, because I think they're a little way off just yet, and they're not the only names we're looking at. I think as our squad, we spoke about wanting it to be tighter, and we think that there's a lot of competition for places, but with that, 1 or 2 players naturally will want some guarantees to play regularly. So I think there will be some change, and the 1 or 2 names out there, they're very good players, but there's nothing right imminent as today, if you like.
Yeah, I have to ask you directly then. Danilo's been one that's certainly been mentioned. Is that a player that you've made a bid for, and how interested are you in him?
Yeah, there's talks in the background on that one, but he's Feyenoord's player at the moment. They've also got their building after a really successful campaign last year, so we'll keep that just between the 2 clubs at the moment, and if there's any news on it, we'll update. He's obviously a good player.
Cifuentes, is that something that's getting closer?
Yeah, it is. It is getting closer again. Logistics of that one and work permits and everything else that goes in between it. The clubs are still talking. He's out of contract at the end of the year, and we have an agreement for that. And we would like to bring it, obviously, to close early, if we can, so that he can join us in this window. So those discussions are ongoing.
How difficult is the balance between making sure you have a strong squad, but also being fair to players that might not feature as regularly to let them move on or move them on to make sure that you do have that tight squad and competitive squad?
The honesty is really important, and with the players that have already moved on, the honesty was there quite early in the time, and then you're professional and we do what we have to do. We're very privileged in our job, both players and staff. So from time to time, there's some honesty in the conversations, but you get on with your job as a professional in the meantime. And the players were able to do that last year, I thought. And going into this season, I think it's important that everyone has clarity on their role and they buy into it, because then they'll be all in and relentless over the 56 or 60 games that we hope to play next year. It's an important season for everybody. And the eyes are going to be on us. We're aware of that.
You've had a pre-season, or you're still undergoing a pre-season with this team. How key is that now for you, given that you came in November, December?
Well, it feels great that we've had this time together to pick some players to come into the squad, to add their quality, to spend that time building this team. We're still only 11 or 12 sessions into pre-season and had our first real game, if you like, against Newcastle in the week, which I thought was a fantastic challenge and test for us. We go into Hamburg tomorrow, Olympiacos, then Hoffenheim, and I think the quality of opponents and the variety of styles will be a big help for us building for that first game against Kilmarnock, and obviously then into the Champions League quickly. We're awaiting that draw on Monday with excitement.
In terms of the Scottish Premiership battle, it's quite intriguing. There's been change at Celtic, for example, with Brendan Rodgers coming in. How much are you looking forward to pitting your wits against him?
Yeah, look, we're in a league where there's a lot of turnover in the players. The finances in the clubs. There's a lot of turnovers in the other teams as well. So we'll have to pay close attention to the Viaplay Cup, for example, and see the new faces in some of the other teams. We know across the city they'll be strengthening as well, and they'll feel it's an exciting time for them. And it's a long season, so I don't want to get into that chat just now. But we're obviously focused here on ourselves.
And just finally, you mentioned Europe, trying to not only get into the Champions League but better or improve on last season after a difficult group stage. How important is that for you in this club?
Really important. The opportunity to play in that competition is the optimal level for the players. It's where everybody wants to get at in football, to play in the Champions League. We've done very well in Europe the last few years, certainly in the Europa League from where we came from in 2018, for example, and then last year to qualify for the Champions League as a follower of the club from the outside. In that moment, it was a fantastic achievement. It didn't go the way anyone wanted, but this year's another opportunity. And as I say, no one will like to come to Ibrox, we don't think, but we know that it's going to be tough to qualify again.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
All right, boys.
Yep.
GB, the floor's yours.
I'm glad you came back to me.
Okay.
Actually. Okay, so we're waiting for that one next week, hopefully, Ox to get out of the line.
Well, and possibly too, maybe we might try and bring him in early. Obviously, he's a player in the report, pre-contract at the end of the year, but what do you think? Maybe $250,000 or something, try to bring him in early? Would you think that'd be fair?
I would like to see him get in, mate. I think it's dead important we've done my business early in regards to, which like manager touched on, Champions League qualifier coming up. Get him in, get him settled with the rest of the squad. Midfield really excites me as it is, but this guy, in my opinion, is like a missing piece of jigsaw, because he's a guy that can play in a 6 or an 8, and I think he'll just sit in front of the back four at times and, be that sort of sweeper in front of the back four, basically, to show up defenders when we come against these big teams. I'm excited by this guy, mate.
Where does Raskin play? Where does Raskin play then?
I think we'll have it move one forward, mate. I think Nico Raskin is going to be our next big export for Ibrox, mate. I think this guy's going to go for more money than Calvin Bassey. I seen the other night with the corner against Newcastle. He looked like the only player in their team, for what I saw, that could get into that Newcastle team.
I thought it was quite right when he came on.
He turns out well, doesn't he?
Was
No,
excellent.
I'm serious, mate. I'm serious with Nico Raskin.
Yeah,
I don't know if
Raskin
anybody
was
else sees it, mate.
He's got something about him, mate. The way he went past him a couple of times, 2 and 3 of them, yeah.
Aye.
You know, I know it was on a training game, but yeah, the boy's got some. But I don't know if when you play him, mate. You know.
I just think, you know, it's part of that three. I think, you know, like you could play Cifuentes in that sort of the base of that diamond. You could have Raskin and Cantwell. You could mix it up, you know, if you need two, you know, instead of Cantwell, you could put Lundstrom in, Raskin and Cifuentes. There's all different combinations, mate. I think it's going to be horses for courses, you know. But Nico Raskin, for me, mate, he's a modern midfielder. He has, you know, speed of thought, his ability. He moves the ball quick. He's just a perfect example of a decent footballer, mate, for me.
Aye, I thought it was excellent. Bridge.
Yeah, I can't sing his praises enough. The lad was absolutely tremendous. I don't know who you're going to play Raskin beside, because last year at the tail end he was playing quite well with what do you call him, with Norwich. Can't remember his name. Todd Cantwell. He was playing quite well together there. You've got quite a lot of players come in here who are able to play, allegedly able to play in that area. It'd be fantastic.
We'll cut across your bridge. We'll be joined by Dougal.
Oh yeah. I've just got a slight worry about our defence, right? Everybody always talks about our central midfielders, but I think Tav and Borna, right, they actually need to go, right? I think Borna will probably go, but I need, Tav has to go. He's rubbish. We need.
All right, Dougal. Cheers for that, mate. Dougal, just Dougal. GB.
If we need to move forward, we can't have a right back that can't defend.
I don't think you're alone in that. GB in you come, mate.
I think that's why. Dougal, I don't think you need to worry too much in the sense about Tav, because I think we've brought in the boy Sterling there to try and challenge for that spot. We're lucky in the sense that he can play either the left or the right, so you might find that he'll even challenge for the left side of defence. But we are linked with also another defender as well in the transfer market so far, and like I said, time will tell, mate, whether we can strengthen there. But from the other night, to be fair, mate, I mean, it was Newcastle we play against. It was a pre-season friendly, but I mean, the score only finished 2-1. I mean, that tells you that Newcastle didn't run right at the tappies, mate, and it was the defence again that held its own. I mean, we had Davies in there that was holding his own. I think he looked pretty decent, to be fair. And then John Suter, we've touched on the night, looked brilliant. Tav was again doing good defensive duties, and unfortunately for Borna, he's got a wee bit of heat on him for that first goal. As with Borna, he's not got to change now. The age he's at. I do think though Ridvan should get the nod, but considering the way he finished last season, the boy was coming in a bit of game, and he does seem to have that vision when he's driving forward. I mean, the Newcastle game, he played a pass into Fashion, and Fashion wasn't even on the same wavelength as him, but the boy was a step ahead. So I think, as Port's touched on, they might find with the defence it'll be horses for courses, because we're still to see that kind of free at the back, and I'm wondering if the manager's going to maybe try that over the next couple of pre-season games.
He has to, mate. He has to, because we don't really have a defender, you know, like in the right-hand side. Tav is just brilliant. I love him, but he can never stop a winger, you know. And Borna can never stop a winger. So we need right and left, you know.
Put better in, you come, mate.
All right, to go, mate. In regards to Tarvik, I mean, everybody's got the same complaints at time about him, mate. We know he's not the greatest going back the way when you have to defend. But what he offers us going forward, what he offers us is a captain of the team. He's an experienced leader. What you've got to remember is we're gelling in, you know, seven new players. And we need guys like Tav to be that guy to help these guys settle in. And the squad's improving, Dougal. This is why we're signing 7 players. As this squad grows under Michael Beale, we will lose heroes like Tav. It's inevitable. Bonner will go, he'll be replaced. Tav will go, he'll be replaced. The boy Dijon Sterling did an interview not long ago where he basically stated he doesn't care that Tav's the captain. He wants the right back slot. And he also said in that same interview, my game's defending. I might not offer a lot going forward, I'll get forward when I can, but my job's to stop the ball coming in the box. And that's what I want to hear for a young fullback that's came to our club that wants to push for captain. So I just think you've just got to bide your time, mate. We can't fill all the positions at once. I think the managers attacked the positions that probably needed most, like goalkeeper, etc., and midfielders needed refreshed, a full forward line. So just be patient, mate. I think we need to stick with Tav now and watch this team grow.
Yeah, I understand. But, like, if we want to move forward, right, we're going to face big teams, you know, like strong teams, Champions League or whatever, that are going to attack us. So, and you've got, like, a right back that can't defend. So, I mean, just saying.
I would say that defending's not his greatest strength, but he's not the worst we've ever had. Bridgeman.
I think I agree with you, Ox. Most folk would say that Tav is a fantastic attacking fullback. That's what he is, an attacking fullback. He's not a brilliant defender, although he can hold his own sometimes. But most people would think that. Hold on a second, though. Most people would think that if we could move Tav forward and stick in a right back, that's you taking out your right midfield. So it's kind of difficult positions for everybody. I don't know what the manager's going to do, but I can imagine somewhere along the line he's going to say to Tav, we need to change it. But you can't take anything away from him because he's the most dynamic player we've got, in all honesty. And from an attacking perspective, he's got fitness but galore. He's a true athlete, and he can actually score great goals for us. And you can't take that away. Excuse me.
Sometimes you've got to be careful in life, Dougal. You don't realise what you've got till it's not there.
Yeah, you're correct.
Anything else you want to talk about, Dougal?
No, I'm just looking forward to the game tomorrow. I've got some German film coming out, so.
All right. Was that your mates for cold? Was that your mates for cold?
No, no, I've been out to Hamburg, like, I don't know, 20 times or something.
Oh, right.
I'm an old guy, so I've been out there since like 69 or something. My dad came here. But so I've got a few coming up here to Lanark tomorrow. And then we're going to get through to the game. And I think we're going to Oswald's for 1 or 2. Then I think fucking the Solid Rock Cafe. A lot of them are metal. Metal guys.
Great to hear from you, Dougal. Thanks for the call, and you have a great day tomorrow, mate.
Oh, but brilliant. I love checking into your show, guys. We are the people, basically. Cheers, lads.
Cheers, lads.
Cheers,
All
mate.
best, Ranger Dougal. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, Bob.
Hope it's a good day tomorrow. Good day tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah, right. Aye, but listen, it's all about opinions and what Tav and Bonner are the greatest defenders. No, I think we all realise that. And the manager's got his team to build, and it'll be interesting to see what happens. It's been rumoured, there's been offers for Bonner. We'll see where it takes us, mate.
Aye. As I said, mate, you can't fill every position at once. They're building blocks, and already, obviously, that's been a big revamp. 7 players is a lot, and that's without even counting Cifuentes and Danilo. Right, that's still a lot to get into a squad. I think sometimes people get, think you just sign these players and you put them in and it all works and they all gel together quickly. That's why you keep a hold of guys like Ryan Jack. John Lundstrom's even a senior member of the squad now. Goldson, Tav, and even Bonnet to a certain extent, mate, unless he gets his move to where the rumours supposed to be taking him. But if he goes, obviously, in my opinion, we need to get another cover in for Ridvan. Ridvan the other night against Newcastle, mate, as well, it showed us all again, the way he tailed off the last season, that we've got a competent defender and a guy that likes to go forward. So I think Ridvan's a decent defender as well. Obviously, I don't mind watching the wee man going either way. But as I said, you always lost heroes Oxshare in your squad, and there will be a time when Tav goes and Borna goes. So I understand what Dougal's saying. He's right, but one step at a time, we're building a squad under a new manager.
Aye. Plus come and go all the time, Bridge, yeah.
Yeah, that's the truth. Players come and go all the time. We know some of the issues with Borna. Again, similar to Tav. Going forward, he is very good, and he's brilliant crosser of the ball. Can take a good free kick also as a backup. A really good crosser of the ball. He's set up so many good goals for us. It's uncountable, really. But his defending, his concentration at left back is a bit questionable. And that might be our own fault for not having somebody really strong who sit beside him as a left-sided centre back. You can see when he's trying to defend corners and free kicks, he's very weak. However, I don't want to take anything away from him, really. I know I'm criticising him, but I don't want to take anything away from him. I think come the end of the season, maybe before the end of the season, because he will maybe want to get some money for him, and they'll ship him out if they get a chance.
Right, a question for the three of you then. Do you think there's any chance that Bonner will leave? Yes or no in this window? GB?
No.
What?
Yes.
Bridge?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm in the yes camp. Unusual for me to be in the yes camp. Oh, dear.
I've got my reasons, Oxshare. I've got my reasons why I think it will happen. Obviously, because the Nottingham Forest connection, obviously, with our previous director of football's there, and they've missed out on the Brazilian boy they had, Lodi. He's joined Marseille, and now they've been left with no cover at left back, and I think it's a cheap option for Forest and a safe option, because I think by the time they get in the Bonnie Premier League and stuff, and we know Bonner's got a wonder left foot, I think he could do all right in there, mate.
Aye, it'll be interesting, mate. I think if they signed him in that league, they'll be signing him for cover, eh?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, cover. Yep.
I'm interested, mate. Interesting. But we'll see. I mean, obviously, he's getting the last year his contract, so if the deal's right, I don't think we'll be too unhappy, GB.
No, I don't. Again, we've seen what happens in the last year of contract when nobody signs a new one. They end up going for free, and we've got to try and recoup some money. Because especially with the way we're spending in the transfer window and stuff like that. But I just think if we're letting Borner go and we're bringing supposedly that boy Panzo in, when you compare the two players, who would you rather have in your team at this moment in time? And for me, I'd rather have Borner because he's experienced and he's a Croatian internationalist at the end of the day. So I think it could be horses for courses with that left back position with Ridvan and Borner kind of taking turns, because I think Borner could easily handle the SPFL. I think Ridvan could easily come in for the Old Firms and handle Europe. You know what I mean? So I think that's a good solid base to work for. And like I says, that right hand side's got good cover with that boy Sterling challenging. And then like I says, maybe add another defender into that centre back position. You know what I mean? And then we've got right good cover. You know what I mean? But I just think if we're going for that boy Panzo and we're comparing him to Borna, I don't really think we're up in the quality. I think we're bringing in a kind of novice. So time will tell on that one, Ox. But if it's good money and it suits the club and it suits Borna, then I'm happy with that.
Mm-hmm. I just think that maybe Sterling could be the cover for the two full-back positions and he'll still get out with him. What?
Well, it would save you bringing somebody in, and he's going to save money if he's comfortable playing in both positions. Although this is my Anorak side coming on again, I like balance. Obviously, I'd like if he's as comfortable on his left as he is on his right, then fair play. But I like the fact that we've got balance on that side with a proper left footer. So, but as I say, that interview that I seen with that boy on Rangers TV, he's hungry. Oxyar. He's a big unit as well. He's a big, powerful boy. You know, he looks as if he's right up for the challenge. The manager spoke to him and he mentioned that in his interview as well, in regards to, you know, why he wanted to come up here. He didn't want to come up here and sit on the bench. I love that as well. So, as you said, mate, it would save us money and we've got covered if he can cover both sides. Aye, definitely. And remember that Adam Devine's still there as well, Ox. He played at the left a couple of times last season and done all right. So we might earn some money and save some money.
Interesting to see it pans out, Bridge, yeah?
Yeah, indeed. Absolutely. It excites fans. There's a lot of fans getting very excited about the whole thing. Port Bear, you can hear the excitement pouring out of them. I'm very excited too, but I'm older. so
you can control yourself, Bridge.
I think I can control it well. I'll say that. I was nearly up with the boys when we were playing the good songs. I was nearly up doing the bouncy and things like that. I'm really stupid, you know. But I really and truly, this season has got. So look, I have to say this. Like most Rangers fans, we all think the same thing in all probability, because we're building a team. We're paid money for a team, and the manager seems to be quite happy with the people he's brought in. So let's get in there and let's get a good season at it, and win the league. At least win the league and a cup, maybe all the cups, because I have to say, in all probability, they're sitting there thinking Rangers haven't brought anybody in. Well, so have they brought in if you follow them, you know? So all these things to think about. Personally, I just want to think about what our manager's doing, and he's bringing the players in he wants to in. If there's any issues, he gets a great kind of start sorted out.
I think the Beale, I'll say revolution at GB's happened quicker than I thought it would. I really do. You know, I think that the squad, the team, and everything's happened quicker than I thought it would.
Mm-hmm. Aye, well, Beale has touched on it, Ox. He said that not many clubs like to do their business so early because they're either coming back for their holidays or just starting their pre-season, and they've probably not had the time to look for players either. But to be fair to Beale, he's been planning this since, I think, even before January. You know what I mean? So he's said to the board or Bisgrove to go out and get these transfers nailed. And to be fair, we have to congratulate the board because they've backed the manager. We've went out really early and got the players that we need. And now it's over to Mr. Beale, Ox, for me. It's he's got to build this team. There's, as we've touched on with defence and stuff like that, there's plenty of defenders at the club there to get us started in this league, in Champions League. We've got plenty of midfielders. And like I say, reports tonight, obviously, we're still chasing Dario. So if we get him in, then we've got plenty of forwards, Ox. So we've got a squad there that can easily start the season and challenge in that Champions League.
Well, the Champions League qualifiers, if we get to the final one, I think it's always a toss of a coin, Port Bear, yeah?
Aye, that's when you meet like fourth finishing teams in Germany, Spain and England, and a possibility is Holland as well. I think we've been seeded for that third round tie-ups, yeah.
Mm-hmm. You need a bad luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think some of the teams we could get in that already is like Sturm Graz and TSC for Serbia. So there is still, good decent teams even in the unseeded side that we could meet as well. And these games are a toss of a coin because you very rarely know their qualities. Sturm Graz were a big side. I remember a way back when Dick Advocat, we played them when he was a manager. They're a decent side then, but obviously they fell by the wayside now. But they've been a Champions League qualifier, mate. So anybody that reaches that level, in my opinion, mate, are decent.
Aye. I'm sure we'll discuss that as we build up. Right, so we're reasonably happy. You gentlemen were reasonably happy with the performance. You're very happy with the transfer window. Things are going well, Bridger.
Well, they seem to be going well, certainly from my perspective, and I'm quite happy. But obviously, tomorrow is going to be another chance to have a look at them and see how they play, and we'll get another one during the week. So you're getting a couple of times here. You're going to be able to see them, see how they're coping, and how you can cope with them, because it can obviously get very frustrating if we don't do it. But good chances, big targets for Rangers. These teams coming in, we need to start to show a wee bit like the second half against Newcastle. We want to be able to play at that level. We can't play at the level we were playing the first 20 minutes of the game. We were pretty slow all over. So we need to get it. Whatever he's got to do, he's got to get some, like we've all been saying for the last few years, get some pace in the game, get some pace in the team, and be able to go and up the tempo and do the business. That's what I want to see.
Tomorrow, Port, there's a good chance you can see Dessers, Roof, and Tom Lawrence.
Aye, and these are Lawrence and that Roof, almost like new signings. I've really got to see Tom Lawrence. Tom Lawrence looked good when the game was strong, but we were excited by him. We thought, another midfielder that's going to should add maybe 10 goals to our totals at the end of the seasons, but he got injured. And then Roof's just been, a crock. He's just been injured constantly. But we know he went for a surgery during that last break there, mate. And I'm hoping this final surgeries that he's had and tidy-ups, I'm hoping next year that still one of the most natural finishes I've ever seen at Ibrox. We know what he's capable of, but is his body going to hold up next year? And then Dessers, me and Bridgman were standing behind the couple the other night, and they come in with John McLaughlin, and I didn't realise he was a big mate. He's a big unit. He's a big unit, a guy, very strong looking. So I'm excited to see him as well. Plus I've watched quite a lot of clips on him as well. Obviously he played against us with Feyenoord before as well. But no, it's exciting times, mate.
Hello.
I have to say it, Oxford. I have to say
Well, cut across, gentlemen. Cut across. We've been joined by a caller. Evening, Ian.
Hi, how you doing?
All right, nice to speak to you. What's on your mind?
Good to hear you again. Just come back. I think it was a call or two ago. Guy ripping Tab off. I mean, he's talking about not being able to defend, but for 90% of the season, he doesn't need to defend. He's going forward all the time.
Fair comment, mate. Fair comment. But there's big moments in a season, aren't there? Big moments in a season.
Yeah, well, I was just thinking that. I mean, only when we get into Europe and that type of thing, surely they'd have somebody that would track back on them, knowing what his game is.
You mean you would play somebody in midfield, maybe a four in the midfield to give more cover to your right back? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's something like Candace used to do with him.
I think the trouble is we're at a different level now. But I get it. Look, Tab will get a lot of criticism. He polarises his support. I think Tab's been a fabulous player for us.
So do I.
You don't know, nobody knows. GB.
No, Ian, well said, about Tab, because at the end of the day, when we had that Europa League run, I think sometimes as fans we've got short memories how well Tav played during that time. I mean, he's a captain. He drove us to a final. I mean, I think he comes in for criticism, as Ox have kind of touched on. There's certain times where it's big moments, and Tav's either been caught sleeping But the best I've seen Tav play was when Ryan Jack was coming in covering for him. When he was pushing forward, and Ryan Jack was kind of doing the tidy up work. And I think
You do the tidy. Aye, true. Agree with that.
I think it's probably like you're touching on, or Ox was touching on there. I think we're going to need somebody like that, whether it's Raskin. I think Raskin was trying to do that, but I don't think they were on the same wavelength last season with that yet. And again, hopefully that will have improved during this pre-season. But the manager's touched on, I think that the tactics might change. We might see a different kind of setup. We might even see a different setup in Europe, and then a different setup, obviously, in the SPFL. Because, like you says, mate, 90% of the time we are the ones that are attacking. He doesn't really need to defend too much. But I do agree with Ox, though. In big moments, we probably do need some sort of cover for him, because they're the moments that decide trophies for me, to be honest, mate.
Aye, no, I agree with you. There's just for somebody to come in and slag him off as such, saying he shouldn't be there. I think that's not right.
Oh, he's got a big fan on this show. That's the Fox. Port Bear, in you come.
Aye, I'm going to add to obviously what you're selling. GB says, mate. You know, Tav does polarise opinion. It really does, Oxtear. But if you look at the modern day fullback, right now, I'm talking world class players here. Danny Alves, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Kieran Tripp there at Newcastle. These guys all are limited going the other way, defending, but they bring so much going forward that some teams are willing to have that guy in the team because the output, i.e. assists and goals, outweighs having the teams defending. Because like we said, you've got guys like Ryan Jack or Raskin, whoever it is in your team, that will cover. In Barcelona, it was Busquets that covered for Danny Alves because Pep Guardiola, arguably the best manager in the world, wanted Danny Alves to score goals and provide assists. And that's different levels with having Danny Alves, I know that, but the system of the modern fullback and the systems we play are similar to the systems we play throughout Europe.
Ian, are you with us, mate?
Aye, still here.
Are you moving about?
No, I'm not moving about. My son's just opened the oven to put his pizza in.
We're getting noise for you, mate. We're getting noise for you.
Aye.
Everything
all right.
Everything comes right through.
No problem.
All right. Aye, carry on, Port Bear. You back with us, mate?
Aye, mate. Yeah. So I just think that's.
We're going to have to drop you in if you're making your dinner, mate. But it's been nice talking to you.
Right, hold on. Right, carry on. I can hear you.
Right. Carry on, Port.
I just think sometimes, Oxtear, you've just got to take the bad with the good with Tav. I think you take him out of the team, and how many assists do you lose, and how many goals do we lose a season, Oxtear? You know, and I think where we are at the moment, still building this new team. Like I say, I'm not saying he's going to be there forever. And as guys touched on, horses for courses, there's maybe games that Dijon Stirling will play because they want that defensive unit in that back four, rather than, you know, if Tav going forward, we can get more forward-thinking players to go and do the attacking and score goals and assisting. I get that, there's that argument as well. But I think we've just got to make David Tav a new mate, because right now he still offers the team a hell of a lot going forward in goals and assists.
Bridgeman, what's your thoughts, mate? You're very fair.
You know, Tavernier, let's put it this way, I can't remember the right numbers. Port Bear's got all the figures. But Tavernier's giving you upwards of 14, 15 goals a season at the moment. Now, obviously, we need somebody to be able to take the load off him, take that 14, 15. Because if you just drop Tavernier or get sold him or whatever you're going to do, you're going to lose that. So we have to make sure that's there, but we can't waste it. I think he's a super player. He's a natural born athlete, and he's obviously he does things that there's nobody else in the team is capable of at the moment. So that's something that the manager has to work towards. Maybe with the present players and some of the new guys coming in, they might be able to build something there to give Tav or to give Rangers a more strong fullback position, a fullback player. So they don't need to worry about having to do both jobs. If you try to take Tav out of the team, He's doing a great role with the captaincy. I want a big centre half, a big 6'5" gorilla, and he's going to be my captain. That's a pipe dream. That ain't going to happen. But I would have Tav in any time when right back. We can't drop him. If we drop him, we'll be mental. Unless we've got great confidence in anybody that comes in.
Unless we've got somebody coming in who's better, mate.
But I'm saying, I don't know if we've got anybody.
Well, we'll see
Apologies
what
if I'm asking you.
D. John Sterling does. Ian, what do you make of what's going on after the club today? We launched a new strip today, the third strip, which I believe all of the country's been sold out in shops. You can't get it in certain sizes. Southside told me there was no small mediums.
Oh, very good. Very good.
Oh, you can stretch it.
He's been trying. What do you make of what's going on with the club off the park, mate? Men and more things.
Off the park, I think we're doing all right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm quite happy with the incomings and who we're actually getting out the door. But time will tell. The players we've got coming in can wear the badge and perform for the badge and live up to expectations. I don't know.
Yep, only time will tell. You're right. GB, I thought you quite liked. I'm picking up a vibe that you quite liked that third strip that was launched.
Oh, it's retro, definitely retro, Ox, and again, no one that's flying off the shelves. I mean, I think that's the 93-94 season tap into it, and I think the thing that a lot of the fans are loving is that the badge is bang right in the centre, right next to that heart of yours, near enough. So I think the fans are loving that. That's the kind of the uniqueness of the top. That the badge has been moved obviously to more central. So long may it continue, Ox, because again, if you buy direct for Rangers, we're getting more of the money into the club. So Bears, just keep filling your boots and keep sending that money in, and this is the rewards you're seeing with all these 8 signings that are coming in, and hopefully another one on the way as well. So it all helps, Ox, and it all helps build this big team that we're trying to get settled for the title challenge ahead.
I heard the shop was absolutely mobbed today, Port Bear. Mobbed.
I know, it's incredible, Ox, it just goes to prove what we always say. You make it, we buy it. And that's what we do. You know, they brought a 4 strip out, mate. They did the exact same. And paying homage to 93, 94 top as well. I think that's a great touch, mate, for nostalgia. And obviously, an older generation of fans will be lapping that strip up, mate. It's a stunning tap. I like the badge in the centre. The name of the store underneath it, under the badge. It's smart as head, mate. It does look good. And as you said, it's sold everywhere. Nobody's got any certain sizes. So, you know, a good example is Ox here. If they want to have replaced, keep buying that strip. You know what I mean?
Paul, you're into that's one of your things and all football strips and that. They got the designs and the strips right this year.
Oh, bang on, Ox here. My particular favourite's the white one. I love the white one. It's an absolute cracker. That's been ordered. But I think they've done really well. Even the training gear. I was looking at the training gear last night. The travel gear as well. It's all outstanding stuff, mate. All good. Aimed at a certain market for the young team, obviously, but also stuff for us older guys. You know what I mean? So I just think they've done really well, mate.
Great for yourself. Great to see an interest in all the strips. It's a positive thing, Bridget. If you think it wasn't that long ago, we weren't selling anything.
You're touching my heartstrings with you when you say that, because it's absolutely true. I never want to go back to any of those dark days when we couldn't do nothing. This mob has come in and they've done it. To me, they've just done everything right, and we're taking what the support want to do. They want to go and buy and support their team by buying. It's the dating of many thousands, if not millions, per annum, and that's what we want to do. That's the best way our fans will put money into the club at the present moment. Just go and buy it, and we'll do it. The fans are just crazy. They'll just do it. And by the way, Port, thanks very much for the description of the latest jersey. Sounds absolutely fantastic, pal. I've only seen a wee clip of it, but it looks absolutely good, you know. And it's great to hear you saying that. And that's what Rangers need to do. And this mob, and I've heard people saying we want to get rid of them and so on and so forth. I don't care what we do. We have to keep up whatever we're doing. And if we're using them, then we use them. If we don't, we go somewhere else. But no more screw-ups. Get the kit jersey correct, kick money right, and a good contracts, and no more crap. That's what I say. Get it done.
Well, we'll be in a stronger position to negotiate that deal when we were negotiating the last deal. Ian, it's all positive. I don't know if you've saw it.
Everything's positive except Fireplay.
Well, my heart bleeds.
Well said, mate.
All right, I'll leave you to go and listen on the radio.
Cheers, mate. Enjoy your dinner.
Right. Cheers, Paul.
He just dropped the mic here, Oxford, didn't he? I was a drop the mic moment and then I'm off.
Just a wee grenade flung in there, boom.
Well done, mate. Superb.
Good call, Ian. Thanks for phoning in.
It was good to hear from Ian again. He's been on a few times before. I'm pleased that you're pleased, Port Bear, but I'm more pleased that Mr. GB's pleased with his junior, the younger generation getting the kits. Am I correct?
Yes, Ox. Aye. It's I mean, it's getting harder now to be trendy. So when they bring out a tap like that, I mean, it brings me back into the trendsetters in a way. But Ox, like I says, the club is, you just hit the nail on the head with what the fans are doing. They probably don't realise it, but see when they go in and buy the tops the way they've done like that, and Castor nail it with a good design, it puts us in a strong position, because we'll be able to turn around to Castor and say, if you create a good top, we're going to give you X amount in sales, because we've proved it. You know what I mean? And better negotiation skills again for the next round of talks and stuff like that. And Castor have had their problems there the years. Have they learned? I think so. The other night there, by the way, it just shows you business sense. They had a Newcastle pop-up shop as you come into Ibrox. I mean, selling Newcastle tops. I mean, so they must have been rubbing their hands at that game the other night. So again, I think Castor will be very, very happy how Rangers have produced for them over the last so many years.
Yeah. I don't know if any of you saw it just before we get ready to go for the tune. There was a small blog with a Newcastle fan, and he was so complimentary about the setup at Edmondson House for the shop and that. I don't know if any of you picked that up. Port GB.
I didn't see it, mate, but I'll tell you, when I was at the ground, Newcastle fans, me and Robert speaking to a few of them outside and stuff, and they were very complimentary about the stadium and our setup, and they mingled amongst the Rangers fans, and it was quite funny. So I part of them, mate. But no, they were very complimentary at the game about our stadium and about, you know, our setup basically.
Mm-hmm. Aye, you're bang on. The guy was very full of compliments and stuff like that. I think they were just happy that you could actually go in somewhere and grab a pint, or go in and shop and sit and have somewhere that you could go before the game, rather than straight into your seat kind of thing. You could go and explore a wee bit. And I think that the Newcastle fans were fair impressed, and I think they had a rip-roaring time.
Different experience now, Oxford, sorry mate. Different experience now going to Ibrox. Yep.
Things are improving. What colour are we calling that new third top?
Terracotta and blue, is that fair?
What are you calling it, Bridge?
Orange and blue.
That'll do me. That'll do me. That might be the cue for a tune. Get yourself in mute.
When the brethren are met in their order so grand, what a beautiful sight for to see. I was ordered to stand by a brother's command to receive the bright orange and blue. To receive the bright orange and blue. To receive the bright orange and blue. I was ordered I entered in darkness I stood, as great chains all about me they flew. And the shoes from my feet I did then cast away, to receive the bright orange and blue. To receive the bright orange and blue. To receive the bright orange and blue. And the shoes from my feet I did then cast away, to receive the bright orange and blue. A commotion like thunder then fell on my ears, as the darkness dissolved in my view. And I stood in amazement to watch them prepare to bestow the bright orange and blue. To bestow the bright orange and blue. To bestow the bright orange and blue. And I stood in amazement to watch them prepare to bestow the bright orange and blue. Then a great shining light unto me was revealed, and my soul was delivered anew. As I stood for my cause, my religion and laws, and declared for the orange and blue. And declared for the orange and blue. And declared for the orange and blue. As I stood for my cause, my religion and laws, and declared for the orange and blue. So we'll join heart and hand, and let King William stand in defence of the faithful and true. With the Virgin as our guide, where our forefathers died, we will fight for the orange and blue. We will fight for the orange and blue. We will fight for the orange and blue. With the Virgin as our guide, where our forefathers died, we will fight for the orange and blue.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
What colour did you call it, Port Bell?
I gave it the posh name, terracotta and blue.
Oh, right, I thought it was Big Stevie. You called it Paracotta.
Oh, I heard him the other night talking about his new wee tablets at the pie standing at me. That's going to suit a big man down to a key, innit?
Oh, mate, a lot of things are happening, and there's people with ideas and a wee bit of vision, and obviously today a lot of it, unfortunately, you need money, and we're not quite where we should be, because the past is still an anchor. The anchor's getting lighter all the time, GB, but we're getting there.
Aye, Ox. I mean, like I say, now we've got that Blue Sky Lounge done. Edmondson House is nearly there. The museum's opening up soon enough. The facility at Edmondson House is getting used for live podcasts, Rangers days. I mean, even the night. I mean, it's a Hamburg celebration the night in Edmondson House tonight. So God knows how much that's pulling in. And then obviously the old shop's getting turned into a bar come next January, you know what I mean? So again, more revenue to come in, more experience, more better match day experience for the fans. We're looking at the disabled facilities and stuff like that. We're trying to build a new squad on top of that, Ox. I mean, we just have to be patient. The club's trying their best, the board's trying their best. We're trying to get investment, we're trying to get money coming in for obviously all angles for the fans, i.e. taps, my jersey and all the rest of it. That's why all these things are so important, Ox, because I don't think we would be where we're at the day without all these things in place. And like I say, we'll just keep pushing on, Ox, and the days will get easier in the sense of, like I say, money coming in and stuff like that, because all these cogs in the wheel will all align at one point, and the club will probably have even better budgets to look forward to.
Yeah, cool. Well,
I agree, mate. Totally agree. I think the most important thing is the fan experience at a game. I think as we evolve into a club and all these things, like Gary's touching on, is opening up, and the fans will start getting up maybe half an hour earlier because they want to get into the boozer, they want to get into the shop. So the whole experience, and then get into the game with the kids and stuff, the whole experience is going to be tremendous, mate. And can I just add to it? It also means in the future as well, if there's ever a potential buyer looking at the club next year and these facilities are all in place, it's a very attractive prospect to potential buyers.
Well, maybe Bridgeman will make a bid, but I get it. Things change, things move on all the time, but look, there's things that we would all like to change, things that people don't like, but in general, I think things are moving in the right direction, yeah.
I also mean the player trading model as well. I mean, it's even the likes of the academy. We sometimes criticise it, but there's Mayo away to Kilmarnock, right? And obviously it's a kind of undisclosed fee, right? But it's still money, and as long as we're making money, I think even the lassies, the women's football and stuff, they're making signings as well, so they're trying to improve their side of it as well and challenge. And again, there'll be money coming in for that side of things if they're getting into Champions League and that set up and winning titles. Again, it will attract sponsors. It's just what I say, it's a big merry-go-round, and I think what I say is us as fans, we want success, but it comes at a cost. So what I say is that's how we all dig deep every season, and like I say, the board are putting their hands in their pockets as well. And like I say, as long as we go in and use all these facilities, we'll help the club as well.
Yeah. Bridgeman, are you happy with the way things are ticking over between, obviously, revenue streams, first team, stadium? Things are never perfect, never will be, but improving, yeah?
Yeah, for me, because we lived through it all and it's so close to us and brought us to tears and things like that, what's happened with Hamptons, I don't want Rangers to get themselves into debt again. And it might sound really stupid, and maybe we are in debt, but my honest opinion is I don't want Rangers to be in any sort of debt other than it's internal. It's getting paid, getting loans of money from directors and can pay it back in different ways. I just want us to have a set of books that say we're in profit. Even if it's £1 in profit, just say we're in profit. We're not running at a loss. That's what I don't want to see. However, that may take another couple of years. I don't know. We're certainly bringing in a lot more money. Where I'm happy enough the way it's ticking over and all the things that are going on, as Gaz just said there, talking about the new pub opening up in January, Edgman House. I'll soon finish from a development perspective. I'll soon be there and things will be cleared away and it'll be all looking all really, really good. And hopefully some changes in the stadium itself will help things as well. Because really and truly, it was fabulous for me to be sitting in Ibrox Stadium the other night. It was just wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Looking around at a massive stadium, absolutely filled to the brim. And you know one thing, it was never mentioned in any of the press. The Rangers were playing. There you go.
Listen, just got a wee walk down memory lane. I've been just reminded of something like that. I think it was, we were talking about 29 years ago. 29 years ago, on this day, Brian Laudrup joined us. Port Bear.
Now there's a name and there's a player. Talk about nostalgia last year. I remember when we signed him, Fiorentina. I have to be honest, I was a young man at that time. Didn't really know a lot about him. He used Danish international and stuff. And I probably knew his brother more for the old football stickers we used to get. Michael Laudrup for Real Madrid at the time. And then obviously, in my opinion, it's only my opinion, he got godlike status whenever I saw him, mate, because whenever we saw him play, I'd never seen anything like this before. Big, tall, 6-foot guy that could move the way he could dribble the way he could score goals. Did absolutely everything, mate, absolutely everything. probably one of the best players of my generation that I've seen in that 9-0 team. And I've always had fond memories. Always had fond memories of Brian Laudrup, mate. One of the greatest ever Rangers signings, in my opinion. For me, thinking the money players go for nowadays, what would Brian Laudrup be worth now?
Would it be fair to say, Bridge, you could argue be the best we've had if you like gliding with the ball? I'm not saying he was the quickest. I'm not saying he was the best dribbler, but he just did this slalom-like skill and so silky.
Yeah, the term gliding is probably about right. It matches it. The boy had super skills, and when he was gliding, when the ball was running with the ball and gliding, shall we say, didn't get hammered too much by the ball, taking the ball off it. He got hammered, but the animals he was playing against could have coped him. But really and truly, he was a wonderful signing, and who will ever forget what he did for Rangers, apart from his last year. It seemed to just switch off. But seriously, the guy was just a wonder. And him and Gascoigne in the same team, we were just outstanding club.
Yeah. And he's had his problems, Brian, but he's still a big part of the Rangers family. I think him and Lovenkrands and the big boy, centre forward. What was his name? I forgot his name. I'll come to me. Back in the '97 season, scored a couple. God, it'll come and slip my mind. They're doing a night, so a Danish connection. So I hope that goes well for them. What was his name? Centre forward. Come on, help me out. Scored 2 goals against Celtic. Come on, red-headed. What was his name? I forgot. You just don't know days.
Bo Anderson.
Eric Bo Anderson. That's it. Eric Bo Anderson. Eric Bo Anderson. Didn't do a lot for us, but in a couple of games, he scored a few goals. Aye. Well done, Bridge. Thanks for that. I could not remember his name. So
you don't want to know who I was about to say, Ox.
We're going to say Bo Derek.
I was going to say Van Bossen or something like that.
Run country, mate. Run country.
Definitely.
Run country. He wasn't a bad boy neither, but they're famous for that miss. Right.
I know, that was the running joke.
My last listeners. Is Laudrup the best player you've seen in a Rangers jersey? Come and gaze a phone 0141 356 1972. There you go. You never know where this show's going to take you, Port, do you?
No. Great question, mate. Great question. I'd like to hear the listeners, their finest moments. But it was the best thing they've ever seen by today. Apart from the goal, he scored that header, his rare header, the Charlie Miller's cross. I remember a particular goal last year. It was against Motherwell when he took it off the right back. I think it was Alex Cleland who took it off. He went back to right back, take the ball, and then went in a mazy through the whole team and just chipped it over Ali Maxwell. And the goal was one of the best. Usually he wasn't quick. He didn't look quick, but he seemed to move over the ground hell of a quick. And that was one of the best goals I'd ever seen. I know it's against Motherwell. People say it's Motherwell, Mark, but what a finish! What a finish! What a run! Nobody could get near him, and he was as strong as an ox because people were trying to stop him ox there, but they couldn't.
Yeah, I know you'd go for Baxter, Bridge, your generation, but Laudrup would be up there, wouldn't he? He didn't have longevity, but he was top player.
Was definitely, most assuredly, one of the finest players that's ever graced Ibrox. He was just a wonderful, sensational player. Just that people, of a different generation, some of the guys that we hailed as heroes, slightly different. For me, Baxter was the best player ever in the whole world, ever, my opinion. So there's a lot of folk who maybe agree with me. There's a hell of a lot of disagree with me. But for your generation and coming in, I thought Gascoigne and him were just what a tremendous pairing. And oh my God, it was just wonderful. Great times great times.
Yeah. GB a wee bit before your time, maybe, but you must have heard of him, God.
It was near the tail end, Ox, probably the 9 in a row, and then obviously going into his last season, I got to see Laudrup and stuff like that, and I mean, I'd be hard pushed to even say anybody in Mac any time since then. I mean, that's probably up there. Maybe De Boer and Moles, probably just for the whole way they could grab the ball and drive. I mean, but no, I think Brian was definitely up there, Ox, just with how he could just. I mean, even see his headers, Ox, like some of the goals he scored with his head, like he would run out the box and he would header the ball and continue to run. You know what I mean? And it would just be a glance sometimes and he could score.
Are you kidding me on?
His header, aye.
You know how many headers he scored for us?
Probably a handful, but they're all good ones. They weren't any, they're all classy headers, I'll say that. There wasn't any.
If you give him the one against them at Park Keep when we won 1-0 when they put the ball at the line.
That's the one that's sticking out for me. Aye, definitely.
He scored the famous header via Charlie Miller cross. I think that was the only real header he scored for his mates.
Against the Dundee United, wasn't it?
Aye. Mm-hmm. A night we'll never forget. I don't know who's doing the moving, but stop it.
What sticks out to mind as well, because it wasn't just his domestic career, you know, in some of the countries he played in, obviously, his international career was outstanding as well. Euro, I think it was at 96 when Denmark actually won the European Championships, and it was obviously 92, sorry, and it was obviously the Laudrup brothers who were instrumental in that happening. And Denmark are a massive country, as everybody knows, but what a feat that was. So his international career was very, very good as well.
They did qualify. It was the war in Yugoslavia.
That's right. Yep. I used to always wish Oxford that he coached his brother to come right enough, especially near the end of his career. But that was never to be. It was never to be.
I wanted them. I wanted both of them as to come in and take over Rangers management wise, Michael and Brian. I think they'd have been a great team. I really did. It wasn't going to happen.
I think Michael would do with that wee spell, didn't he, at Swansea? He was doing the management, but aye, good shout, Oxford, Bridgeman.
His brother, I don't think his brother was in that squad, but his brother was a top player, yeah.
Yeah, definitely, mate. What about moments? Any stick out to mind, Oxford, Brian Laudrup?
Just one, mate. He did it Tannadice, mate.
Aye.
You know, you're talking about emotional and special, but when somebody scores a hat trick in a cup final and it's still known as the Laudrup Cup final. Well, right, he scored 2, but God and jury must want to know what he wants today, but the guy's performance that day was just unbelievable. But I was thinking, if you're talking about one moment, it would be he did it Tannadice, mate. By the way, after we just get beat with Motherwell 2-0 at the weekend, but what a header, what a goal. Charlie Miller cross and the most unlikeliest guy to come in and head it, and what a goal it was.
I think he started the move, didn't he? I think he started the whole move, if I remember right, and continued the run. And I think everybody couldn't believe he was getting on that front post. Bulleted it.
Come and put us to bed, does he? The best ever, in your thoughts? Yes or no? 0141 356 1972. Or talk about anything Rangers related. Talk about the game tomorrow. We'll go back to the game tomorrow. Port Bear. How are we going to line up? And who do you fancy seeing start the game?
I think I'd like to see Butland then go again, mate. I'll be look at him. I think, in my opinion, he's going to be instrumental this season. What I did notice the other night when he come on for Al McGregor, that boy fills a goal, Oxford. He fills a goal and he stands out at corners because he's above everybody. I'd like to see Butland have, probably same back four, but in fact, I'd start Ridvan. Born on the bench, so back four, Tav, Davies, Suter, Ridvan. Midfield 3, Raskin starting this time, Cantwell, And Lawrence, like you see Lawrence going to start, and then a front three. I'd like to see Seamer on the left, Big Dessers, and on the right, Lammers. I'm going to go a 4-3-3 again next year. Lammers again. Get more minutes in his leg, and I'll look at him as well.
I would change one thing in that team. I'd take Lawrence out and bring him 15 minutes. Bring him on for the last 15 minutes, mate. Be fair to him.
Just because he's coming back, fair enough. Yeah, that's fair.
I would start with, you'll not believe this, but if you're doing that, I would swap him for Hadji at the start.
Do you know, on that subject, do you know, I think, I heard you talk about it the other night, I know that, mate, but my Tupman's in. I think when I seen him the other night coming on, I thought he was outstanding again. And I think he's filled out and he's starting to get into his man body now. He looked muscular the other night. And I think, I know we always go on about he's one pace stocks, yeah. You know, and some people say he's no pace, right? But I think if we can transform him into a number 8, you know, a centre midfielder, I think he's got, you know, obviously be ability, we've never questioned his ability. But if he can hone in on that position in that centre midfield, he doesn't really worry about running wings next year because he's got the ability to pass his way through any team because we know what his passing ability is like. I just think he could be. He plays it for Romania, you know what I mean. So I just think, I don't know, if we missing a trick, we don't actually get him a shot in there.
I never noticed his physique or that. I'll leave that to you. But I thought he played all right. GB.
He did. It was everybody's been talking about him playing this kind of more deeper role because of the number 10 areas basically packed. I mean, with unlimited players on now. But no, I had kind of a bit of a similar team. I would put probably Hadji in that kind of midfield. I think our Raskin, Cantwell, Hadji midfield would be really, really good. And it's funny when you write my half like that. If Hadji did start, then you've only got him and Tav as the kind of original players for kind of Gerrard's time, you mean? Because the rest of them are all kind of new signings. It's a full kind of new team there. But I really do hope this is the front line is the, like say, the Seema, Dessers and Lammers. So I think that would be good to see how they can all gel. But Hadji's Hadji. He's got talent. It's just it's a pace sometimes for me. He's got to. I think Lawrence is going to have better pace in him. I mean, we're forgetting about Dowell as well. I mean, Dowell could probably play in there as well. So unlimited choices for a manager, and it's going to. Well, if you can move some of these players on, it's going to become a headache because he's got to have to keep some of them happy.
You don't go through a season with 13 players. That's the thing. You need about, as you've seen last season, 25, 26 bridge, yeah?
Yeah, obviously, we have to bear in mind it's a whole season. We've got to get, in fact, we've got a whole pre-season to go. So the manager's got to play as many as he can to get the legs in. I want to be able to see what they're doing and playing and scoring goals. That's a must. We must see that. I mean, everybody must see it. We've got to score goals. Shows the team playing well and getting the rewards for it. But really, you've got a choice of talent that we've been told. Obviously, we haven't seen them that much. But we've been told that some of these boys are just fantastic. And others fancy them rotten. You know, let's see how they play. Dessers, for instance, I think it was everybody's lips on Wednesday up in the back, Copeland Rear, and they all wanted to. They were disappointed he's not getting a game. But hopefully he's going to play Saturday, and we'll see what he's like. And other guys who wanted to see him will be able to see him, and we'll see what happens. Really, I'm so happy and looking forward to all these things. It's just great. And listening to some of the things you guys are saying, very intelligent stuff from you. You're saying about what Rangers are going to be like, and I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Aye, it's good. And I think we've got to remember it's a pre-season game tomorrow, you know, and lots of people could start it. You can't read too much into it, Port, you know.
No, definitely not. All this is about Oxford over these next 4 games is getting minutes into legs and try to get minutes into legs as many players as possible, especially probably your first, as you said, 18 to 24. that you're going to be using over the next, the early, obviously, qualifiers and the obviously early league campaign. So I think it's just about getting minutes into the legs, getting people up to tip-top shape. That sharpness has to be there. So when this season kicks off, we're already hitting the ground running. That's all this is about, mate. Does the results matter? Slightly. It always matters to Rangers. My opinion's not friendly with Rangers, right? I want them to win every game, right, regardless. But I understand the big picture when it's we're trying to get guys like Lawrence is coming back, like Rufus coming back to get up to the same level as the rest of the team, so that we're all singing off the same song sheet and we're just all hitting the ground running for this season ahead, because we're going to need, like you said, mate, everyone's going to need to chip in with, defence, midfield, and attackers, goals, assists, blocks, saves, the whole lot, mate, the whole shooting match.
Aye, building a team, building a squad, and hopefully everybody gets fitter and you don't get any knocks or injuries. I think we've been joined by Jim. Evening, Jim.
Good evening, lads. Good to hear you all again. Good to be back.
How are you, mate?
Not bad. Looking forward to the season ahead. Pretty exciting. Again, just need to wait and see how the signings go. Scottish football's not the easiest league in the world. But my point is, watched it the other night there. I was at the game. The person to be interested about you, so you thought your midfield three was going to be. I'd like to ask where John Lundstrom and Ryan Jack's going to fit into this Rangers team this season. Because I felt the other night there, I thought we looked as if we were playing with a back six at the time, and Todd Campbell was trying to drag them up the park.
I think they'll play in some games, mate, horses for courses. But I think if you're looking to most of your home games at Ibrox, I think their position, if I'm being really honest with you, can be sitting in the dugout.
Aye, or sitting in the stand.
I don't. No offence to the boys. I mean, John's in the last year of his contract, and I think it was Southside the other night said they'd move him on. Brian Jack be given an extension for a year, which makes sense. You bring players in, he's got experience, but they don't. They're different players for some of the ball players. I think there's a place for them, but I think it'll sometimes be bit parts unless John gets in the team and he goes in the run. GB.
I totally agree. I think the team for the other night, when you seen Lundstrom and stuff like that, don't get me wrong, he made some good passes and stuff like that, but he did get caught in the ball again, kind of sleeping. And I'm looking for, like I says, that most of the new signings to come in, especially, like I says, with Lawrence coming back. I think
I must have missed a good passes.
We had a good one in the second half across to Cantwell, so I'm not going to let's dig him too much, but he did lose the ball quite a bit. Don't get me wrong, see if he hits the form that we've all know that he's got. I mean, there was times last season, like the game at Hearts and stuff like that, he turned up and he was an absolute machine. The one against Celtic, I mean, he's in there digging and working hard. I mean, he's going to, like you say, Zox, it's got to be horses for courses. I think he'll be needed for the kind of games, because sometimes these European players that we're bringing in, the game might be too rough and tumble for them. And sometimes you need a kind of a guy with a bit of needle about him in a game like that. I mean, so it will be needed, but I think his game time could be limited, considering, like I says, we're pushing for a title. I just think as long as he can accept that, then he'll be around. But I think, like I says, come January, if he's hardly played, then you might find that he'll be moving on.
Well, he's out of contract, so you can sign for somebody. Port Bear.
Aye, mate. I think the season ahead, I think with the midfield we're talking about, the guys like Raskin, Cantwell, even I'm going to add Cifuentes to she's a Rangers player. These guys have all got legs, Oxford, mobile, let's say Taylor on, quick thinking, modern midfielders with ability. And unfortunately, like you said though, Jack and Lundstrom have got a place in a footballing squad, because sometimes I always say this, you need your water carriers, Oxford. It's not about ball carrying and making lovely passes and stroking the ball about. Sometimes you need these guys that's going to get down and dirty and get stuck right in. We know Ryan Jack can do it. We've seen John Lundstrom doing it. John Lundstrom's form in part of the Europa run was outstanding. I remember the RB game that, Ibrox, when we get the winner, he was outstanding that night. So we know John Lindstrom can bring decent stuff to the squad, but the thing is, they're one-dimensional when it comes to pace. They do slow the game down, and I don't know. I think that our new system and our style under Michael Beale, I think it's just too quick for them next year. But I do think there's a place for both of them in the squad.
Bridgman.
I think if you took a wee straw poll of the fans that were there the other night, they would have said from a midfield perspective, they can't wait until the new guys are in and they're up fit, nice and fit and match fit and all that. And then they said that you probably won't see as much of Ryan Jack and John Lundstrom. The big difficulty with their play is that we ended up playing inside our own box quite a lot of the time because they can't go forward with pace the same as other folk can. And for some reason or other, when they got the ball, they kept coming back. And Cantwell and people like that were very frustrated out on the pitch because they weren't seeing the ball. So difficult things for everybody, difficult times. Desperate for the players to get in, the new guys come in, and let's see what they've got. Get them up to match fitness and see how it goes. Because as soon as you can get that done, then you can start to ease the pressure on the likes of Ryan Jack and John Lundstrom. Because as Big South said, I think Big South said the other night, we could let them go anytime. But we can't do it now because we're not 100% sure about all these guys coming in that are going to be able to take over the form that he's got. But really and truly, we need to be able to play different ways to why we've been playing with our defensive mid being completely defensive and non-attacking. That's what was happening Wednesday night. Sorry, Tuesday night.
If I'm being honest, if you're just talking about Wednesday night, I mean, we're playing Lundstrom back in the light, right? And the boy Doyle seemed to be in the middle, and then Jack was on the left. The way I see it, and it was a free, and then they were that narrow that because of lack of pace, they were playing the outside these, Jim. So I didn't like the shape neither, if I'm being honest, in their defence.
That's another thing I was going to ask you. Anybody get a concern about the lack of width on the team, other than the wee boy Hilnaz and Tav? It was a bit concerning, as you said there. We were kind of caught. They just let them switch, and we were so narrow. I know you're not going to get that again. I keep on harping back. Scottish football is not the easiest league to come and play your trade, and there's been bigger guys than them came in field and went away with their tails between their legs. But just need to hope that these boys hit the ground running. But again, it was a real actor.
It'd be interesting to see with Seema if he plays him or if Dessers plays, if he plays on the left wide port.
Aye.
I think that's the only place that Seema will have to go, mate. I think there's a definite that when Dessers is on, he'll be our number 9, mate, because I think he can play these back to goal. He can go in behind. So Seema's and Lammers will probably need to go slightly left and slightly right. That's the only way I can see that happening, mate. And remember, one of our best fruitful positions were remember we brought Joe Rebo just in after right, but he was playing on that sort of right-hand side. So maybe Lammers can do that same job, just come in and try and get close to Dessers at times, but also fill that void over the right-hand side. But if he comes inside, it means Tav can get around the other side of him as well, which worked really well when Rebo was there, mate, as well, if you remember back.
I get your point, Jim. There doesn't look as if there's any what you would call natural wingers, does there?
No, I don't think there is.
No, Sakala's a wide man. I think that's his best position. Sakala gives you something. He does some wonderful things, and then like Wednesday night he ran the ball at the park, you know.
I'll tell you something, see if he could keep himself on side, man, he'd be the best player in the world, wouldn't he?
He'd be better, put it that way.
Aye, I know. I've never seen a player getting caught offside so much in my life.
I can't help but like him, but Jim.
Aye, I don't dislike him.
You know, so I get your point. Kent's not there, Scott Wright looks as if he's away. You know, the rest of Port are midfielders that play wide. You know, there's not a lot, if you like, wingers. Yeah?
Aye, no, that's true. I noticed the other night, we were that narrow. That's why Newcastle kept switching the play, wasn't it? They were just getting the ball long diagonals, because we were so narrow in the middle of the park. That's definitely something we maybe need to look at. But I think under the manager system, it looks like he's going to play like a narrow three in the front at times. But like I said to Gary, I think the gaffer's going to have a wee ace up his sleeve, mate, or a wee plan B. But at times we'll go to a back three. I really think that. A wee question, Oxgear, for one of the guys in the feed on Facebook. Is anybody concerned about the lack of pursuit of centre backs?
Who was it? Who asked the question, mate?
William Reynolds.
Oh, well.
Yeah, William.
Answer the question, William. What's he saying? Go on, give us it. Give us a question again. I'll take it to Jim.
Basically, he's worried about the lack of pursuit of centre backs. He's saying it's frightening. We've got King, Goldson both injured. Davis is a bomb scare, and Suter is injury prone, and we've only got Balogun. So are we still, should we be looking at other centre halves? What's your thoughts, guys?
Well, the Bridgman wants a big 6'5" centre half today. I don't know if we're going to get it.
6 centre halves, first team centre halves, is a lot of money, wages and everything. Suter's been fit now and no missed a game for quite a while. Jim, in you come, mate. You take it.
Possibly one other. I think somebody that's got to start. I like Big Suter. I thought Big Suter was excellent the other night. So he was. I thought he had a great game. Just hope that the boy can stay fit and there's no more niggles with him. But you would think he's going to, but he's going to go with Golston, isn't he? Once Golston's fit.
Well, the way he's playing this new, Suter would be unlucky to be dropped, Jim, eh?
Yeah, I would say so. Interesting to see who he starts with tomorrow. Might be interesting.
I tell you what, I will agree with William. I think we're struggling for left-sided centre-half support than GB.
I agree. Yeah, the only one we've got is Davies. So I think I have to agree with William. And I know there has been targets. The boy Panzo was mentioned. The American boy, the names escape me. They were mentioned, and it's just if we can get them over the line. I heard another wee rumour Oxgear that one of the deals with Borna, because obviously Panzo's a Nottingham Forest player, then maybe something we could do there, money and even Borna. So I don't think it's about the question. I think it's top of Rangers' priorities. Maybe they know they're maybe short, mate.
Well, Golson is going to be fit, and you've still got Ben Davis. He's put Balogun for cover. We thought initially Leon King was going to boot for the season. GB, it's now 5 or 6 weeks. So there's actually a lot of players there. Eh?
Mm-hmm. We're pretty packed. You know what I mean? And it's trying to go. We're saying there we want to bring in a defender that can start. You mean it's going to be hard because you're going to have to discuss with that defender and say, well, there's so many other defenders there that you've got to get in front of. You mean? And Balogun, he can play on that left. He done a job in there as well for us. I think really, Oxlow, I think that William and Jim are right that we've got to get this kind of settled. We've only got 3 games left of pre-season, and then we're right in about it. And I think the Mora is the kind of the starting block that we really need to see who our defence has got to be. And get that settled, and at least then we can move forward with it, because that 55 season, the reason I think we got after a flyer was because we had a starting 11 that we knew we were going with in pre-season. We'd already done that Leon tournament, and then we went straight into the league. And I think we need to do the same with these 3 games building up. We need to see the team that we're going to probably see most weeks, week in, week out, so that the other team get an understanding of each other. It's all right at the end of the day in the training. I
don't think you'll see that tomorrow. I think you'll see the 2 teams tomorrow of the piece, Jim, and then maybe.
I think you'll see Roof in that play tomorrow.
I think on Wednesday, your boys that are maybe. If you like, maybe his plans to be the starters, maybe get 60 minutes, Jim.
Aye.
But we'll see what it, and also GB, you're trying to avoid injury as well, yeah.
Aye, obviously, mate. Aye, we're not wanting to risk a brand new signings just before the start of the season. It's just, I just hopefully, like I says, we start to see a wee bit more the starting 11 that we'll know who's going to be there week in, kind of week out, because
right.
you don't want to go into the season and it's all mixed up. You know what I mean?
Let's have a magic wand. I'll go to Port first, Jim, and then your good self, and the bridge can come in at the end. Magic wand. Everybody's fit.
Oof.
What is the starting 11? Port Bear.
Oh, ouch.
Who's gone first?
Oh, ladies first. On you go, Port.
I'm comfortable. Going to go Butland in goal. Tav, Goldson, Suter, Redvan. Am I allowed to use Cifuentes?
Aye.
Cifuentes, Raskin, Cantwell. I'm going to stick with my front three: Seema, Dessers, and Lammers.
Jim?
I'll go with that same team and put Kieran Dowell in there for that, the boy for America, but no, just till the boy gets settled. You know, I don't think he's going to be settled in time for to start with the kind of battles for us. I don't think that big boy. So I think Kieran Dowell could be in there along with Nico Raskin, Todd Cantwell. Again, I've got a wee thing there, a wee problem with the front three. The mobility, the big guy, Seema, again, he's the one who I'm kind of concentrating on is Scottish football. Isn't he suited for everybody? He could be that man. I hope he scores a barrel load, but he could be the guy who maybe struggle, I think, big boy Seema. Whereas the other two, I think, will be all
right. GB.
I would go with Butland, Golson, Suter, Redvan, Tav, Raskin, Cantwell, Lawrence, Roof, Dessers, and Lammers.
Okay, interesting, Bridge. Interesting. What's your thoughts, mate?
Well, I would go with GB. I think GB's got a very exciting team selection there. Well done, GB. That sounds really good. I like to see Lawrence playing because I think he's going to be sensational for us. Obviously, but the presumption that he's fit anyway. Really and true. That sounds a really good team. I'd go with that. That's no problems at all.
I can't believe they do Scott Wright in their team.
But
what's your team, Alex?
He had GG's number one. He's the captain. I'm going to duck out here before I get abused. Right, okay. Later, guys.
Cheers, mate.
Okay, thanks again, boys. Take care.
Cheers, mate. Cheers, mate.
Bye-bye.
Cheers, Jim.
Obviously, I think it's obvious that Butland will place. Remember, we're saying that everybody's fit, so Tavernier, and I think who said Golson and Suter. That would be my choices, and I don't think that's fair in John Suter for him to go on the left. But the way he's playing, I think he's got to stay in the pitch. And Redvan, midfield's a real conundrum. Raskin gets a shot, Cantwell's going to get a shot, and then you've got if the boy Lawrence plays the way he started the season last year, you'd have to find a place for him. And then what do you do with others, you know? And up front, Dessers, who we've not seen, but we're assuming he's a number 9. What happens if Danilo comes in? Then you've got Ruth in the background. So Dessers at centre forward. And then I take Jim's point, we're struggling because we're thinking who's wide and who's plays. But with the ones we've brought in, I think we've brought Seamer into play. So who'll play left in the 9? I don't know if he's a wide player, if that makes sense, Port.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then you've got that, the Albert position, the outside right, the right or the front three that we always seem to have problems who we're going to put in there. And at the moment, you would need to try and get Lammers in there because you've signed them to play them. And that would be without seeing them do. After tomorrow night, you might change your mind on Lammers and might say, well, he scored a goal against Newcastle on tomorrow night. We'll be saying that guy's got to be the first name in the team sheet. You know what we're like, but
I think indeed, mate. You know, if you think midfield to front, I think one thing the manager's got is choices. You know, so if it's not working, we can easily change things up. Because I think what the manager's probably going to do as well, I think that midfield and that forward line could be quite fluid. People interchanging, etc. I think there's going to be a hell of a lot of movement. And I'm only just judging it on, I've seen these players play for other clubs, I've seen some clips of other players, etc., etc. And if you think Cifuentes, he can play a 6 or an 8, Raskin can play a 6 or an 8, but he's also showed he's got ability to make a killer pass at the top end of the pitch. Cantwell, we know he can do a great ball carrier, sees a killer pass, an eye for goal. So these guys could all interchange at times, Oxford. You know, Lammers dropped deep quite a few times against Newcastle the other night just to get on the ball and make things happen and connecting that midfield to front as well. So I think there'll be a lot of fluidity in my movement in my system as well, and which I think is great. But as Gaz touched on, Gaz likes a strict, stringent number. You know, same starting 11 week in, week out. But unfortunately, in my opinion, anyway, the current way of football, you need 14, 15, 16 players on a match day, and most of them will get to play, by the way, because of the tempo of the game nowadays.
I couldn't agree more. In modern football, I don't know if it's the right thing or no, but in modern football, Bridgeman, when you get the 5 substitutes, if you don't use a minimum of 4 to refresh your team and keep one for emergencies or to cover your goalkeeper, the game's changed, Bridge. Yeah?
It's changed enormously, and that's one of the reasons why all of us, in all probability, in some way or other, are putting this variation in. And we just wish we knew who was in and what they look like and can they be good for Rangers, so that we can put them into the right slot and we can say every week that guy should be playing, you know, that kind of thing. Desperate for this, what our best 11 would be, and we want to get to that point, but it's just going to take a wee bit more time, to be honest. What I don't want is I don't want to be left with the choice that, to all intents and purposes, we had the other night. It's the same defence that we have had at some point for a number of seasons. We don't want that. We want to be able to say we've got some good players and this is the way we're going to play them. And let's, for saying's sake, say that this young guy that brought in is going to possibly challenge the Sterling is never going to challenge both fullbacks. That's the kind of thing you want to see. But that might take 6 months to show that, to challenge. And how can you do it? Oh, sorry, I'm rambling on here. This is my thoughts. And I just think we need to know, all of us as fans need to know and see what we think is the best players for Rangers. And then we can take it from there.
I think the problem is, Port, you can't have your best 11 in professional football. Because you might go a season and you might have it in your head, but you'll never get it on the pitch for various reasons. Look at last year.
Aye, definitely, mate. Aye, as you said, the game's moved on. It's now a match day squad, 16 players, 15 players. Because, as I said, the tempo of the game's risen 30% off here. Is that fair? How quick the game's got. You know, it's
maybe more, mate.
Maybe more. Aye. You know, that was me being conservative. But, you know, it's just it's balls to the wall, mate. That's the way they play now. The tempo's so quick, the movement ball's so quick. You know, the balls have changed as well. Everything's changed about football last year, and this is why the game's moved so quick. And the squads have had to be utilised at all times. You watch it in every league in Europe. It's the exact same. There's substitutions made regular. The quality on benches has to be almost in par with the start 11 because, you know, they don't want the levels to drop at all. So I think that's the way the squad game is now. And basically your match day squad, there's not much drop off. There used to be a drop off, and you know, for subs to your first 11 that when they used to play about, you know, a restricted 11 most weeks. But it's not like that anymore. It's just not like that. We've got a team full of attacking promise. But I take Williams' point like further on board. Maybe he's worried about defences, but maybe Michael Bill's got this attitude. Well, if you score 3, we'll score 4. You know, which will be exciting brand of football. Not good for your heart, but you know, if that's the sort of football Michael Beale plans on playing this season, mate, I'll gladly watch it. I'm still excited with Michael Beale, by the way, mate. I think we've got a cracking young coach, and I can't wait to see us this season with him. Obviously, organising the full pre-season, the fact he's getting to meet all the players, talk to him about coming to the club, etc. He has had an input, and he has coached some players up the road from England and from Europe. So I'm excited with the gaffer, mate. I don't know how people are thinking about Michael Beale, how he's doing so far.
I'm going to tell you what I think, mate. I think we've seen we've done a different director of football.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
You know,
100% Ox.
Huh?
Aye, 100% Ox. I think Beale and his team and this kind of scouting department have done a fantastic job without having a director of football there. I think maybe you need a director in maybe the academy, but I think what I say is I think we've proven that we've got a manager there that knows football, I mean, and can put people in place to go and find the players that he wants. And I think that in our league, Ox, I think that works better. I don't think you need a kind of the set up of, like, say, what Arsenal have got, where their director of football goes out and finds a player and then brings it to the manager. You know what I mean? I think we're well suited to what we've got this summer. But I mean, Ox, what point does the manager go now? I mean, we're getting that. So I'm saying we're down to three pre-season games left. What point does the manager go, right, I'm just got to go with this? This is what the squad it's going to be. Because I'm a bit fearful that we do start selling, like, say, Barisic and Davies, and then we bring in two other players that we've got to try and fit in quickly and stuff like that. I'd rather we go with a settled squad into the start of the season rather than chopping and changing.
That's the dynamics of modern football, because you've got the economics kick in, and you've also got, if they two players asked you to want away, would you want to keep them, Port?
No, if somebody came to me, mate, and said they want out, then they need to get out. And I think, like what Gaffer touched on earlier on, he wants a close-knit group of players that are all pushing in the same direction. Because if you've got a couple of bad apples in there, mate, you know, and I'm not saying Scott Wright and Glenn Kamara, all these guys are trying to get the club are bad apples. But what I'm trying to say is, I understand the squad economics as in, he doesn't want anything affecting what he's trying to build. So, you know, I remember back in the day they used to make you go and train with 21s, but you can't do it anywhere because of employment law and all that now. So these guys have got rights, but if they don't want to be there, mate, and they want to come to you and say they want to go, then try and get them out of the club as quick as you can.
To back to the centre halves, if Leon Kink's fit say the end of August, Ghost's fit for and back playing for the start of August, you've got they two, you've got Ben Davies, you've got John Souttar, and you've got Leon Balogun as cover. Unless you get rid of somebody, you're going to be able to attract another centre half in as cover, a six choice centre half.
First choice, Alan. First choice.
Exactly. So that becomes a different argument. So who if you're going to go with Souttar, and hopefully if goals is on for him, what are you going to do to get an on-form Golson and a fit and on-form John Souttar?
Play a back three.
I always think you had to play that because the other two weren't very good and needed to cover bridge.
No, by that big monster I'm talking about, and you could put Souttar and Golson beside him. I tell you, nobody many will get by you. Nobody many.
The problem with that system is your two fullbacks, if they get pushed back and you get two defensive men, the big game you end up with 7 defenders, mate, you can't get up the park.
Well, but I don't think about having fullbacks at that point in time. I just think we could play with two chaps wide. They call it as wide as possible. So you have three centre halves basically in the back, and then everybody else will be midfielders from then on. The defensive mid picks it up and does a business with it. Away we go. A lot of teams play like that. In some parts of the game, they've only got two at the back. You know.
There's games at Ibrox, mate. I don't think we did the back four, but that's just my personal view. Certain league games, if I'm being honest, GB.
No, especially at home. I mean, there's been times we've been constantly in possession and we've been needing that probably extra creative player on the park to try and get us a goal. And there's been obviously no worry at the back. I'm surprised that the Beale's really focused on the forward side of things, Ox in the transfer market, midfielders as well. I'm surprised he's not really changed up the defence too much because, I mean, let's face it, a lot of folk were saying that Davies was looking to be gone out the door. We're talking about Barisic's linked to go away. I mean, you'd think you would get that solid. I mean, he's brought in Balogun, but Balogun's a great pro and a great leader and all the rest of it, but the guy is 35, and if you're expecting him to go in into Champions League games or to go into the league and stuff like that, he'll do a job, but all firms and stuff like that are going to be very important this season. Champions League or Europa League is going to be where we make money. Yeah. So he's really got to get this sorted. If Davies is staying, he's staying, and we need to go with it. I mean, but I'm concerned that he's not really looked at it too much. He's more focused on the forward line.
He's calmed down. One day's no shot yet. People to go, people to come. It's football. Anyway, gentlemen, we've reached that time of the evening. Port Bear.
Aye, we're building up, mate. Great in the back. Still excited about the season ahead. I think there were a few twists and turns in the old transfer window, mate, especially after the qualifiers and stuff. So I'm looking forward to it, mate. I'm excited and watch this space over the next couple of days for signing.
GB.
Aye, great night, Ox. Good to hear the callers on the night as well, especially during pre-season. I know people are busy and stuff like that, but brilliant to hear the callers on the night giving their opinions and stuff, and in the feed as well. That was good to hear from William. So, aye, everybody enjoy the game tomorrow, and I'll catch you soon.
Yeah. The one and only Bridgeman. Come on, Bridge, off from you.
I'm saying thanks very much, Ox. Here. Sorry. Well done to your team and yourself and the team tonight, your techie team. Absolutely brilliant. A big thanks to GB and Port Bear for carrying me through this. I can just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, particularly Rangers fans on here on Rangers Radio, another good game ahead of us tomorrow. Everybody, please, wherever you are, keep it going for the Rangers because the Rangers really need us. And so do they. Keep it going.
Here. Thanks to Dougal, Ian and Jim for joining us here on Rangers Radio. Port Bear, GB and Bridgeman for doing the show. Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back on Monday night between 8 and 10 talking about all things Rangers, and you just never know. We may have another player for them. Take it away, Old School Blue.